5 minutes between Leeds and the cup. And now then, it's a free kick to Chelsea. Bremner calling his men back. Atta Hollins with the free kick. Hutchinson, a goal! And Leeds players have gone flat out, but watch this as Hutchinson gets to the near post, gets right up to it, and Spraker's got no chance. A great near post goal by this youngster, Ian Hutchinson. And it's a draw in 1970. The first time since 1912 a great match has ended.
Well, we'll be moving Ronnie Harris across to right back because I think that Ronnie can do a good job on Eddie and sort of keep that flank quiet there. In fact, I'm sure he can.
This is Gray. Joel Joe, what a great save by Benetti. Or tremendous save by Benetti. Madeley. Jones. And Benetti is hurt. Great tragedy for Peter Benetti. Here's Cooper. Oh, what a save from Benetti. Oh, 10 out of 10. And one for neatness for Benetti for that save. Osgood. Now Hutchinson. Cook. And Osgood. Ran beautifully off the ball. And Charlie Cook, the man who made it. And Hutchinson building up the position for one of his famous long runs near to the penalty box. And up goes Dempsey and Webb as Hutchinson prepares to take the throw. Webb has scored. What a throw that was. Dave Sexton much happier now. It's Marvin Hinton, the substitute, on his left. But Dave Sexton always looks serious. And what an epic, memorable cup final this has been. A great game at Wembley, a great game here. Chelsea coming from behind to win. Chelsea have won it. Chelsea have won it.
After 65 years, the cup was won at last. Where others had come so close and failed, Sexton had succeeded.
The one time I knew that Chelsea was going to win the FA Cup, you know, you just had a feeling that we were definitely going to win it, was about, I think it was when 20 minutes to go when Dave Webb scored the goal. It was the first time I saw the Leeds players be behind in the ties we'd had. At Wembley they went in front twice, we came back twice. They went in front again at Old Trafford. And when we went in front, they laid down. They couldn't match us. They said, we can't beat this squad.
London Southwest 6, a focal point of the swinging 60s, staged an old-fashioned knees-up. Next season, the cup winners were back in Europe with a new £100,000 signing in the squad, Keith Weller from Millwall.
Beautiful ball, Weller!
First, in the Cup Winners' Cup, came Aris Salonika. Hopeful after a draw in Greece, hammered at the bridge 5-1, including 2 goals from John Hollins.
Paddy Mulligan now leaving it for John Hollins. Bearing in fast with a left foot drive. From Hollins.
Then CSKA, beaten 1-0 in Sofia, 1-0 at Chelsea. Scorer David Webb. In the third round, Bruges took a 2-0 lead in the first leg, but Chelsea won through to knock out Manchester City, the holders. That booked a return to Greece, where the trail had begun, this time to Athens to play Real Madrid.
We were winning 1-0, courtesy of Mr. Osgood again. He'd scored another goal in the final. And there was about 10 seconds to go. It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they'd even brought the cup out to present it, and they equalised. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And, of course, we had another replay. So we had to stay over, and on the Thursday, I just went down to the Hilton with Charlie Cook and Tommy Baldwin and just got pie-eyed, really. I thought, our name's not on this one. We can't win it.
Certainly a match in which Chelsea have been in full control throughout the whole of the first half hour. And now here's Webb on the break from Weller. And the corner kick. Well taken by the goalkeeper, Borja. There's Tommy Baldwin there to put him under pressure. Cook to take the corner. And Dempsey has scored. And there is delighted Chelsea fans, and that's no more than Chelsea deserves. In this, the European Cup, Winners' Cup final replay, they take the lead after 32 minutes. John Dempsey, the scorer. Baldwin. Back to Harris. Number 8, Baldwin. Osgood. And he scored! Osgood has done it! That was a beautiful shot. I thought he'd have gone wide, but he picked his spot, and Osgood down, kneeling down and just waving at the crowd. And so after 38 minutes, Osgood has made it 2. Well, they've got a quarter of an hour to go, 2 substitutes to use, but now Freitas for Real Madrid. He's done it, he scored! Real Madrid has scored. Freitas has got one in with 15 minutes to go. Grande moving down the right. This is Grande. City and Grosso in the middle. Coco as well. And Bonetti rises to the occasion. The first time he's really been under pressure. That was a fine header by Soko. And it's over. The whistle has gone. Chelsea have won the European Cup Winners' Cup for the first time in the club's history.
Chelsea's reputation as exciting nearly men was being demolished. This was the second trophy in 2 years. It inspired in 1971-72 a prolonged campaign in pursuit of another cup.
Hollins. Osgood had never stopped going. And he's got it in, and it's given. Houseman again to take it. First goal for Chelsea. This is Hudson. Number 2, Mulligan. A penalty. John Hollins to take it. 4.5 minutes left. 2 goals each. 3-2.
A 5-4 aggregate after 2 legs took Chelsea to their second League Cup final, by now a Wembley showpiece. They met Stoke City.
Peter Dobing then with the throw for Stoke City. Smith is right up at the near post for Stoke. And Osgood had come back with him, and it was the fist of Bonetti. Turned in again! And now Greenough looking for it, and a Conroy! Terry Conroy! The little chip there again towards Webb, and Osgood, and Webb won't get a shot in, will he? Osgood on the ground, and he's done it, Osgood! While he was on the ground, he's got the equaliser. The first goal Osgood's ever scored at Wembley. Red shirts are waiting to pounce now. Conroy going past Webb. A delicate chip there, a deep one towards Ritchie, nodded down again, and a good save! And Eastham! George Eastham! The old man has done it!
It was nearly 70 years since Gus Mears had built his super stadium and founded a club to fill it. Now Chelsea had a team starting to win prizes. They planned to build a new stadium to house it. But what was intended with the best of motives to be the glory of the 70s became a major factor in a decade of many disappointments. Financing the rebuilding and the disruption to the ground created problems that inevitably affected the playing side, through lack of atmosphere, if nothing else. Players like Hudson and Osgood soldiered on for a while.
Hudson for Chelsea. Lock. Recalled, and Hudson heard him. Osgood. Kemba, and it's carrying away. Osgood! 1-0!
But the camaraderie born of success was under pressure. Peter Osgood departed for Southampton. The indelible memories he left behind are reinforced by the figures in the club annals. Soon Sexton himself, the most successful manager in Chelsea's history, went too.
Well, it's very sad, you know. But I haven't got any complaints, you know. They've been very good, a great club to work for.
Ron Stewart, who had a 16-year association with the club, became manager. But this was the start of a very unstable period. 7 months later, the job passed to Eddie McCready, for many years Chelsea's left back. His long-time partner on the field, Ken Shellito, became his successor as manager. Irish international Danny Blanchflower spent 9 months in charge, but with no money available, couldn't avoid relegation. Having been coach under Blanchflower, Geoff Hurst inherited the manager's chair, but just missed getting the club back to the First Division. It wasn't, though, a time of unbroken gloom. Eddie McCready had no option but to blood the youngsters, led by Ray Wilkins, already mature beyond his years. The new East Stand was open, leaving Chelsea nearly £3.5 million in debt. But the raw playing talent was good enough to win promotion in 1977.
Wilkins with the long ball. What a good one it was too to Basson. Charles comes across. Good cross by Basson. And Swain! On by Rooks. And Billiston scores! Stanley! Oh, and Chelsea have snatched one back immediately.
Ray Wilkins was Chelsea's youngest ever captain at 18. Given his ability, he should probably have scored more goals.
A lovely goal by the Chelsea skipper.
But the range of skills and the intuitive awareness glowed in every game. Somehow, though, the promise of this generation suffered in the general blight of the 70s. The end of the decade saw the final appearances of two loyal and much-admired servants. Peter Bonetti had kept goal in 729 senior games. Not for nothing was he called the Cat.
Peters. Oh, what a game Bonetti has played.
And after 19 seasons, during which he set a club record of 795 appearances, Ron Harris departed. He didn't often trouble goalkeepers, but when he left, forwards all over the country rested a little easier.
Harris. Beautifully hit shot by Ron Harris.
John Neal became manager in 1981. Wilkins had long gone for £875,000, then a Chelsea record, but the restraint on buying players remained.
I walk in here every day and you look out there and you get a tingling down your back. It's a tremendous setup, tremendous support. It's all there to be done. It's just a case of getting the team right. That's the most important thing of all.